Hi everyone, good morning. Let us come to an interesting lesson, a wonderful story narrated by Sudha Murthy, wife of N.R. Narayana Murthy, founder of Infosys. You know what is Infosys? One of the leading IT companies of India. It's a multinational company. So it has its branches and area of work in almost all developed nations, especially America. Okay, so let's come to the lesson directly. I will do it. Come, take the page, page number 23. I will do it. The word itself shows some determination. I will do it. Shows a determination. Let us see how it is so. So, the story is being introduced. He was short. He was sharp. He was the brightest boy in his class. It is about our N.R. Narayana Murthy. He was the brightest boy in his class. Not a tall one, not a fat one, just like everybody else. Short, sharp, and the brightest boy in his class. His seniors used to ask him. Even his seniors used to approach him and ask him, doubts to solve their difficulties. They would ask him doubts or to solve their difficulties. He used to be approached by even his seniors to solve their problems. Yes, difficulties in science. He could have gone unnoticed in a crowd. See, in a crowd, he would go unnoticed. Why? Suppose a man is so tall, unusually tall, he will be noticed easily. So short also will be noticed very easily. So fat, so thin. See, something unusual, particular will be noticed very easily. But suppose somebody is like everybody else, as usual as everybody else, he will not be noticed by others. So, just an ordinary student like everybody else. He would go unnoticed in a crowd. But once you asked him a question related to physics or maths, his favorite topics, if you ask him any question related to physics, science or mathematics, there is a spark in his eyes. You can see a spark of fire. In his eyes you can see, you can observe a spark of fire in his eyes. He could grasp theories of science. He could grasp the theories of science faster than the speed of light. A speed of light, the fastest, is not so. Yes, you know the speed of light. So he can grasp the theories of science faster than the speed of light. Only means so quick. Okay, now. Not that he could find as fast as the speed of light. Okay. Sudha Murthy introduces our N.R. Narayana Murthy by telling that he was short, he was sharp, he was intelligent, he would have gone unnoticed in a crowd. But if you ask any questions related to regarding science or mathematics, you can find a spark of fire in his eyes. Yes, he was able to solve the problems of science or mathematics faster than the speed of light. The story goes on. He came from a poor but educated family. Coming from a poor family and of course educated family. His father was a high school teacher. His father was an ordinary high school teacher. Not so wealthy, teachers, high school teachers especially. And an avid reader of English literature, means voracious reader. So one who reads a huge amount of books, not one or two. Voracious, avid. So when you write a letter to the editor, I am avid reader of your esteemed newspaper, you write. Avid means voracious reader, one who reads a lot. of English literature. He used to read a lot of books, of English literature. He, like all the boys in his class, was trying to get admission. He was trying to get admission, like other boys of his class, into some engineering college. His aim, his motto, his ambition was to get admission into some good engineering college. The brighter ones wanted to study in Indian Institute of Technology. The brighter ones. Those who are so bright, so intelligent, so hardworking, they would try to get admission to IITs. Number 1, IITs. Number 2, NITs. Then comes top engineering colleges. Okay, now. So the brighter ones, the brightest, of the class or the school would try to get admission to IITs. So it was the ambition. Even now, it is the ambition of a bright student that he should get admission to IITs. There was an entrance test for IIT. You know it, no? Yes, entrance test for IIT. This boy, along with his friends, applied to appear for the test. Together with his friends, he applied to get admission to IIT to write the entrance examination. They did not have any special books or coaching. Nowadays, so many books are available, so many coaching centers are there. Schools themselves would give, special training. School would give special training to specially selected students, set of students to make them get admission to IITs. Now it is available, but during his time, none of those things were available. Is it not so? None of those things, was available. Yes. So, where is that? All these IIT aspirants, those who were aspiring, means desiring or wishing, aiming at aspiring, would sit below the shade of a stone mandap. You see? Close to Chamundi Hills. Mandap means erased platform, something like a small stage. So they would those studying students who are aspiring to get admission to IITs would sit together on an erected platform, a stone mandap. We are very near to, close to Chamundi Hills in the sleepy town of Mysore. Mysore is not a noisy town, sleepy town, silent. Not too much sound is there. Though it's an IT hub of India, it is Bangalore. Okay, na? So Mysore, Bangalore, all silent towns. But some other towns like Mumbai or Coimbatore or something like that, always you can hear the sirens from factories and all the noise, hue and cry, everything will be noisy. So Bangalore is just opposite to that silent town. You see, sleepy town of Mysore. Yes, night also it would be awake because some people will be working night shift. You see, 24 hours these institutions will be working, but it will be complete silent. Sleepy hours, at sleepy town of Mysore. He was the guide for the others. See, among his friends too, he was the guide for the others. While the others struggled to solve the problems of in the question paper, while others, his friends, they tried to solve the problems in question paper, he would smile shyly and solve them in no time. He was so intelligent that he was able to solve those problems in the question paper within no time. He was so intelligent that he could solve the problems of science and mathematics in the question paper so easily, so quickly. In no time he was able to. He could solve the problems within no time. He sat alone below a tree and dreamed of studying at IIT. His ambition was to study in IIT Institute. Okay, now, it was the ultimate aim for any bright boy at that age. During that age, it is the ambition of any bright studying student, as it still is today. As it is still today. Even now, it is the ambition of any studying student. It is to get admission to IIT and study there. He was then only 16 years old. At that time, he was only 16 years old. The story goes on. The D-Day came. This is the most important day. You see? He came to Bangalore, stayed with some relatives and appeared for the entrance test. You see? He stayed with some, from Mysore he came to Bangalore, stayed with some relatives and wrote the entrance examination. He did very well, but would only say okay when asked. He won't be getting excited and tell, I wrote everything very good. No. Okay. Very good means okay, that's all. Okay, na? Yes. He would say only okay when asked. It was the opposite when it came to food. When he is asked about the food that he received, he would say, when he said okay, it implied bad. Even if it is bad, he would say okay. Is it not so? He won't say it is not good, bad. No, he would say only in a positive way. Even for bad things, he would say okay. See, when he said good, it implied okay. When he said good, it implied okay. When he said excellent, it implied good. He won't be so excited to say in such a way. His principle was never to hurt anyone. Mark that. His principle was never to hurt anyone. Yes, we can learn this lesson from our Narayana Murthy. His principle was never to hurt anyone. It's applicable for every one of us. Especially, you children, when your mother, prepares you tiffin, lunch packet, etc. and all, some days may not be that good, but you should not hurt her feelings. But it's very bad. How can I eat this chai? No, it's okay, madam. Okay, mummy. Okay. If it is good, you can say, very good, mummy. Thank you very much. You are loving, you are great. You can say some good words too. It would be an encouragement for her. Is it not so? So don't disappoint others. Don't hurt the feelings of others. You must understand how they are sacrificing for you. The IIT entrance results came. The story goes on. He appeared for entrance examination and the result came. He had passed with high rank. He came out in flying colors. He passed with a high rank. What a delight for any student. It would be the greatest moment for any student that he would high rank in IIT examination. He was thrilled. He was excited. He went to his father who was reading a newspaper. He went to meet his father. He was reading a newspaper. And now I have passed the examination. I passed the examination. Well done, my boy. It's a great moment for a father too. He's so happy that his son got very high rank and very good marks. Well done, my boy. Well done, very good. I want to join IIT. My ambition is to join IIT. His father stopped reading the newspaper. His father stopped reading the newspaper. He lifted his head, looked at the boy and said with a heavy voice, with a heavy heart, so sad to say this. So sad to say this. He didn't like to say these words, but he said, he had to say, why? My son, you are a bright boy. I know you are a bright boy. You know our financial position. You know our financial condition. I have 5 daughters to be married off. I have to send 5 of your sisters. See, I had sent them in marriage, for which I need a lot of money, huge amount of money. And 3 sons to educate. Yes, 3 sons to educate. 5 daughters, 3 sons, 8. During that time, minimum half a dozen children used to be there. Nowadays things changed, maybe 1 or 2, that's all. It was not there during his time. 5 daughters to be sent in marriage and 3 sons to be educated. What shall I do? I am only an ordinary high school teacher. Yes, I am a salaried person. No extra earning, no additional income. Only salary I have to adjust with. I cannot afford your expenses at IIT. Very sorry, my dear son. I cannot afford to meet your expenditure studying in IIT. You can stay in Mysore and study as much as you want. No problem, you can stay in Mysore, your native place, and study as much as you want. Go to government school and study, that's all. Okay, na? I am not paying huge amount of tuition fees like you people are paying now. Private schools, no, good education, but a good amount to be paid. They cannot teach you out of charity. Okay, now? But government schools different. Okay, now? So you can stay in Mysore and study as much as you want, which means again afford to pay your education bills if you are staying here and studying, going from here and studying somewhere here. That's all. I cannot afford to spend your education expenditure while you are studying in IIT. Indeed, it was a difficult situation for any father. In fact, it was a hard situation for any father. To say no to his bright son is a hard decision for any father. To say no to his bright son, studying son, very well studying son. How can he say, don't go, continue your studies? It's a very difficult moment for any father. Out of, compulsion, has no other choice. A sister's service and in marriage, he cannot spend all the money towards him. Very difficult for any father. Is it not so? Yes. But circumstances were like that. Yes, his circumstance was like that. It was common then for a man to be the single earning member of a large family dependent on him. He was a single member. Is it not so? See, single earning member of a large family. The entire family depends on his earning. Nobody else is earning in his family. So he has to meet with all the expenditure of the family. Basic needs, food, is it not so? And other things should be met first. After that only we can think of education also. Basic needs should be met with all from his salary, and he is the only earning member of his family, a large family. So he has to, say no to his son. It was a hard moment for him and for any father. His father was sad that he had to tell the bitter truth to his son. He was so sad that he had to tell openly this hard, bitter truth to his son. But it could not be helped. No chance, you could not help it. The boy had to understand reality. He has to understand the reality. The reality is that his father is not rich enough to pay for his education to join in IIT. The teenager was disappointed, of course. Our Narayanamurthy was disappointed. It seemed his dreams had burned to ashes. Underline that. Several times asked for paragraph answer for public examination. You see, it seemed his dreams had burned to ashes. Why? Why? Tell the answer. Though he got admission, though he got high ranks in IIT entrance examination, he could not join the IIT because of his poor financial condition, or his father could not afford to spend his education expenditure. So his dream came to ashes. It seemed his dreams had burned to ashes. Whose dreams? Narayanamurthy's dreams. Why? Because his father was not rich enough to pay his education expenditure because they were poor. Okay? Or his father told him that he could not afford to pay his education expenditure. So his all his dreams had burned to ashes. He was so near fulfilling his fondest hope, yet so far. That also can be, given paragraph answer. And why it is so? He is so near fulfilling his fondest. See, deep liking this fond. Children are fond of sweets. See, fondest hope. So he hoped to become an IITian, studying in IIT, any of the IITs in India. That is his fondest hope, his long cherished wish, his deep ambition. Yes, he was very near. Why very near? He got high rank in IIT entrance examination. Yet so far, but so far away. Why? He could not join there because of a poor financial condition. So near because he qualified. So far because no money to pay. Is it not so? Or his father told him not to join. So why so near and so far? See, it can be asked for paragraph answers. Sentence will be given, you will be asked. Okay, now? So he is so near because he got high rank in the IIT entrance examination. So far because his father asked him not to join because of a poor financial condition. his heart sank in sorrow. This also can be asked, why his heart sank in sorrow? Why? Because he could not join the IIT. He did not reply to the father's words. He did not reply. If had you been in his place, what you do? You would get angry, you would jump, you would cry, you would say, all are going, my friends are going, why can't you spend money? You are spending all the money for my sisters. Sisters are more important for you. What about me? I got an entrance examination with a high rank, why can't you give some money to me? It would happen everywhere. Anywhere it would happen. But Narayana Murthy did not reply, no answering. He understood the reality. He did not get angry. He did not say any bad words. Murmuring, muttering, uttering. No, nothing. He was silent. He did not reply. He never shared his unhappiness or helplessness with anybody. Generally, you can find children, if they are not permitted, they will go and tell their friends, what to do? Father says like this. They would go to their uncle, relatives. I cannot join. I got this much rank. Father is not helping me. What shall I do? No. He did not share his helplessness or unhappiness with anybody else. He was an introvert by nature. Very often asked. Introvert, extrovert. In such cases, he was an introvert. He did not reveal himself. So speaking something openly is an extrovert. Telling everything open. Being open is extrovert. Those who go into themselves, they are an introvert. Introvert opposite extrovert. So he was an introvert. In this, not always. In this case like this, such kind of martyrs, he was an introvert himself. His heart was bleeding. Actually, he was so sorry. His heart was bleeding. But he did not get angry with anybody. No. He did not get angry with anybody at all. He realized the reality. He understood the reality. He did not get angry with anybody. The day came. The story goes on. The day came. His classmates were leaving for Madras or at present Chennai. They got admission in IIT Chennai. They were taking a train from Mysore to Madras. They were taking a train. They are going by train from Mysore to Chennai. They have shared good years in school and college together. They recollected their good old days when they spent together in the classroom, making fun, enjoying their days and their experiences with their teachers, dear teachers. They were sharing all those good old moments. He went to the station to say goodbye and good luck to them. He did not show any angry face. Is it not so? He went to meet them all and say goodbye to each and everyone and say good luck to them for their future life. He went and met them all and to say goodbye and good luck to all of them. At the station, his friends were already there. They had already come, his friends all. They were excited and talking loudly. Children, no, they were talking loudly. So many things were being discussed. The noise was like the chirping of birds. The noise was like a chirping of birds. Birds would make all kinds of noises. Okay, now they were all excited and discussing their new hostels, new course, etc. What kind of hostel would be, whether nice food would be given. Our food is different from the food of that area, where it would be good enough for us to eat, we will find any problem there, whether we will feel homesickness. So they were discussing a lot of things. He was not part of it because he was not going to join. So he stood there silently. He did not speak anything. Silently he stood there. One of them noticed and said, "You should have made it. Oh Murthy, you should have really done that." See, he said, unluck, unfortunately, you could not make it. They did not know that he got high rank in the examination. He did not tell them too. He did not tell them that he got high rank and he was not permitted to join because of poor financial circumstances. He did not reply. He only wished all of them good luck, all the best of luck. They waved him as the train slowly left the platform. The train slowly moved away from the platform. He bid farewell to all. Bye bye. See you again. Bye. He stood there even after he could no longer see the train or waving hands. They were waving, you see, through the window. You see, he could not see them anymore. Still there, he stood there. It was the June of 1962 in Mysore city. Monsoon had set in and it was getting dark. Yes, evening it was getting dark. Evening train. It had started to drizzling, small rain. Is it not so? Drizzling. Yet he stood there motionless. He could not move from there. His fondest hope has become ashes. Is it not so? Yes, his hope all lost. He could not join the IIT. The sorrow was so deep, he did not move. He said to himself. So he said to himself, without anger or jealousy, he was not jealous towards them, those who got admission. All students from IIT study well and do big things in life. I know the students studying in IIT will study well and do good things, great things in life. But it is not this institution. Underline, it is not the institution. Ultimately, it is you and you alone who can change your life by hard work. You can change your life by hard work, not the institution that is important. I know all the students studying in IITs would do well in life and they would reach high position, high level they would reach. I know, very well known, a fact that all students from IITs can do very well in life. But it is you and you alone. Alone what? Who can change your life? You can change your life. How? By hard work. There is no alternative for hard work. Yes, you can change your life by hard work. The lesson all of you have to study, learn from this lesson is this. It is you who can change your life by what? Hard work. I know the IITians would do well, very well in their life. But it is you and you alone can change your life by hard work. The story goes on. Probably he was not aware that he was following the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. Yes, unknowingly in this he was following the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita. Your best friend is yourself and your worst enemy is yourself. Do your duty. That is the essence of, Bhagavad Gita. See, you know the background of Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna, is it also? Came to battlefield, Krishna in the chariot. So when he came to battlefield for the first time, he saw all his relatives in front of him. He put his bows and arrows down and told Krishna, I don't want a kingship by killing my own relatives. Then he gave him some advice. Is it not so? What is that? Karmanye vadhigarasya ma phaleshu khatajana. It means do your duty. Karma means duty. Don't worry about the result. Or reward. Reward is God given. Work is worship. Is it not so? You can worship God by your work. Karmanye vadhigarasya. Ma means no. We should not expect rewards. So reward is God given. Your work you must do. Whatever work you are entitled to, do it well. The result, reward will be given by God. God alone can give the result or reward. That's the advice of entire, Bhagavad Gita. So he told Arjuna that Kshatriya Dharma, Shatru Samhara. Whoever comes in front of you in battlefield is your enemy. Do your work well. Don't worry about the result or the reward. Reward is God given, applicable to all of us. Why? We must do our duty. Study means study well, that's all. What happens afterwards, don't bother about that. Mark less, mark more, first rank, second rank, no rank. No botheration. I have done my duties well. I am happy about it. The reward is God given. God will give me reward. God will reward me. That should be our mentality. See, unknowingly our Narayana Murthy was, echoing the lesson of Bhagavad Gita. Unknowingly he was echoing the lesson of Bhagavad Gita. What is that? Your best friend is yourself and your worst enemy is yourself. First you must conquer yourself. Yes, conquer yourself. You should know what is your plus points and minus points. A man will have both, plus and minus, negative and positive, merits and demerits. You must know it. Is it not so? If any negative point is, you must overcome it by concentrating on your merits, plus points. Okay, now? As time not there, we will discuss later on. Later he worked very hard. Our N. Narayana Murthy worked very hard and focused on one thing, never bothering about his personal life or comforts. He never focused on his personal life or comforts. He shared his wealth with others. He was willing to share his wealth with others. Or N.R. Narayana Murthy. He never used the help of any caste, community or political connections to go up in life. He never used any other help using his caste, then community or political connections to move up in life. He worked by himself and reached higher levels. So, worked by himself, he did all the hard work by himself without depending on anyone. No dependence, independent who he was to the core. You see, then he did not ask anybody's help of his religion, his caste, his community, his political relatives, connected with the political people. Okay, now, so none of those things were used to move up in life. A son of a school teacher showed other Indians. Our story goes on. He was simply a son of a school teacher. He showed other Indians it was possible to earn wealth legally and ethically. Underline that. He showed the other people that it is possible to earn wealth legally and ethically. Yes, the company he started, Infosys, it has become one of the multinational companies of the world. Shares of Infosys so much in demand, isn't it so? Those who bought it at the beginning stage, they all became so wealthy, so rich, isn't it so? You should know something about share market, then only we can understand this. Okay, we will discuss later. He built a team of people, and he built a team of people who were equally good. He had a team of his own, and they worked very hard, and they were equally good. And he became a pioneer, means a champion of India's software industry, and started the information technology wave. It was he who began the information technology wave. Today he has become an icon, means a symbol, an icon of simplicity, uncompromising quality and fairness. Apart from being a philanthropist. A philanthropist is one who loves humanity, one who loves everybody else. He does not hate anyone. Only love towards everyone else. Okay, na? A philanthropist. He really lives in the motto powered by intellect and driven by values. Powered by intellect. His motto, his ambition, his aim, his goal. Is he powered by intellect and driven by values. He upholds all the good values that we are upholding. The great Indian values. The great Indian values he upholds. One essay is there, Learning from the West by N.R. Narayana Murthy, that you study in second year intermediate. Okay, now? Yes, he upholds all the great Indian values. Okay, so, and driven by values. He is none other than Nagavara Ramarao Narayana Murthy. Simply N.R. Narayana Murthy. That's only we know. That only we need to know. N.R. Narayana Murthy, the founder of Infosys, a leading IT company in the world. The last line it is being introduced. Generally, it will be the first line itself it will be introduced. So, telling all these things, Sudha Murthy, his wife, yes, he is a motivational speaker. Is it not so? Yes, she speaks in many wonderful occasions. All over the world she goes and speaks. She also played a vital role in developing this company, Infosys. One of the founders of Infosys. Okay, so he is none other than N.R. Narayana Murthy, the founder of Infosys, a leading IT company in the world. Yes, that is the lesson. I will do it. Shows his determination that he will achieve what he wants to achieve. It shows the courage and determination of N.R. Narayana Murthy that he would achieve whatever he wants to achieve. That is what. So though he was not given a chance to join the IIT, he reached higher levels than all the IITians. The founder of Infosys, N.R. Narayana Murthy. I hope the lesson is clear to you. We'll meet with another lesson. Thank you. Thank you for watching.